Everyone. Hey, Rajee Narinesingh here, coming to you from South Florida, USA. Trans activist, author, mystic, actress, reality TV personality. Yes, I'm a lot of things, which means that any guy that's going to be with me has to be confident in who he is. Got it? So I'm sure some of you are familiar with the saying, like ships passing in the night. The love that could have been. So recently I was thinking about this guy that I grew up with in my neighborhood, and we liked each other. It was one of those unspoken things for a long time. There was an attraction. I thought he was cute, and I could tell he liked me. So he is about 3 or so years older than me, maybe four. And I was at the time, I was like 12, probably 12, 13, like in that range. So he would have been like 15 or 16. So anyway, I'm not going to say his name just in case anyone from the old neighborhood, Mount Airy, Philadelphia, sees this video. I don't want to create a scandal all these years later, but I'll describe him. Wow, probably caught up to him now. Yeah, not probably. I have. He, I would say he was like 5'11", in that range, and nice wavy curly hair. It was so beautiful. His skin was really nice. He was a little darker than me. I would say like a honey color, like a yeah, caramel honey color. Light brown eyes, sometimes hazel. They would get like lighter sometimes. Beautiful smile. I'm not skinny, but I would say like slim. Slim built, but nicely built. And there was definitely that energy going on. I tell you. So now, Mount Airy is a pretty big area of Philadelphia. So he was in Mount Airy, but he wasn't in my immediate neighborhood. Like he didn't live on my block or anything. But he would always come around. That's the thing. And at first I didn't realize what was going on. And then I started to like pick up on it. Because back then, honey, parents were like, go outside and play. None of this staying in the house because, there weren't all the games and computers stuff there weren't any computers then really, but, the games and stuff. So kids today stay inside for the most part. But back then, the kids were outside a lot of times playing. So we'd be like on the street and sidewalk in front of the house playing, all of us kids on the block. So, well, the ones that wanted to play with me, because, even then I was like, I was the faggot, uh, the faggot of the block. But anyway, I had some good friends, thank God. So he'd come around, and at first, it's so funny. He'd be talking mainly to like the other kids, but he'd say like a little something to me, but then I'd catch him staring at me and stuff like that, and I, after a while, like, well, at first when I saw him, I thought he was cute, but the feelings were there. I was just like, oh, he's cute. And so then after a while of him coming around and us talking and getting to know each other, I started to like him. I had a crush on him, honey. But again, we didn't act on it really. It was just like all this energy bouncing back and forth between the two of us. And so I'm growing up. I get into high school, and he then leaves to go into the military. I think it was the Navy. I'm not 100% sure, but I think so. And he left, and I'm in high school, and I'm growing up, and actually, I kind of forgot about him. I like pushed him in the back of my mind. I just was like, well, he's away, and he's living his life, and that's it. So time goes on. I graduate from high school. Now I'm a young adult trying to find my way. I would say probably about 1920. at this point, and I'm in downtown Philly, downtown Philadelphia. We call it Center City. And actually, if you go to the City Hall in Philadelphia, there's a spot that's marked and it says the center of the city. It's the exact center. So that's what most of us call it, Center City. So I was probably down there shopping or something. At that time, the gallery in Center City, Philadelphia was booming. Not anymore. I don't even know if it still really exists, but yeah. So I'm walking down the street. I'm in my own zone, and he's coming towards me, walking towards me. I I saw him, but I didn't see him. I think it was like I didn't expect him to be back home. And so we walked by each other. I noticed he was like staring me down. And then he calls my name and I turn around and I was like, oh my God. I said, what are you doing back home? So he said he finished, his service. He did 4 years. He was telling me about the service and everything and all the different places that he traveled. And then he ended up being stationed in Hawaii for a while. So he hooked up with this Hawaiian girl. They were dating and ended up having a baby, a little boy. And so we chatted and stuff, but we didn't exchange numbers. It was like I think at that point, I don't know. I was still young. I was naive. I was scared because you have to remember now, this is like a gay relationship. Although I feel like he was seeing the woman in me, but a gay relationship back then. And so all the stigma and all. So we just talked and then we went about our way. We went about our own business. So months went by, like maybe probably 3-4 months. And I'm in my neighborhood coming from, what's that avenue? Oh, I hate when I forget it. Wadsworth, yeah. It's like a little shopping area within our neighborhood, Mount Airy. It's called Wadsworth Avenue, and they have a lot of little stores and stuff. So I went up there for something, and I was walking back home, and who pulls up next to me? He did in his car. I guess by that time he got a car, honey. So, because when I saw him in Center City, he was walking. But another thing is too, people a lot of times, even if they're driving, they don't take their cars down to Center City because, the parking and stuff. And the trains are so good, the subway and buses and stuff. So anyway, let me get back to the story. So he says, hey, what's up? And I was like, hey, and I was smiling. I walked over and he's like, he pulls over and he's like, sit. I was talking to him through the window. And then he's like, come on, get in the car, sit down. So I sat down and we were talking in the car and stuff, but I was like so nervous. I was nervous. He's like, you want me to ride you home? I'm like, no. Because remember now, I'm still living at home with mommy and daddy, okay? And my father didn't play, honey, So it was. I was like, no, that's fine. I'll walk. It's not that far to go. And so he's talking and stuff, and he's like, well, can I get your phone number? So I hesitated because I didn't even have my own phone at the time. I hadn't gotten my own line yet. So I was still using the house phone, but I gave it to him. So, feeling the energy, and actually that day I touched his hand because I noticed like his hands were a little rough, like he had been working or whatever. And I grabbed his hand and I'm like, oh, you've been working hard like that. And he didn't like pull away or anything. He just like let me touch his hand and stuff. And so anyway, that was it. We went about our way. So, oh my God, fast forward like maybe a few weeks later, 1:00 in the morning, the phone is ringing. Okay, now remember, I'm still living home with my parents, okay? And my father and mom were, we were all sleeping. And so my mom comes to my room and she opens the door and she's like, there's someone on the phone for you. calling this time of night, tell him don't do that because your father and it's gonna wake him up. And oh, she's going on. So she's like, but go get the phone, see what's going. So I get on the phone, I go downstairs, and I hope she hung up. Oh dear Lord, I hope she hung up. Maybe she didn't. God. He was tipsy. I could tell the way he was talking. And he's like, oh my God, I need to see you. Can I come over? I'm like, I can't. I said, I live with my parents. I can't have someone coming over at this time. And come on, sneak me in the basement. I really need you. I need you so much. I need you so much. And he kept going on. He's like, I really need to be with somebody right now. And he was like, going on and on and on. And I was like, I wanted to, but I just couldn't. I couldn't. How am I going to bring this guy in my parents' house at 1 something in the morning? I mean, come on. Maybe I'm sure there's people that did it, but I wasn't that daring, especially with my dad. Okay. So, he kept on and on. We talked a while. And then finally he said, all right, okay, well, I'm going to go. And he hung up. And that was it. Never saw him again, never heard from him again. And I don't know why recently I started thinking about him. I don't even know if he's still alive here on the planet, living life, or he's passed away. What his life has become, if he's still here, who knows? Like, what ended up happening to him. And then if he's here, I wonder if, like, he's seen me on any of the shows that I've been on, and if he, like, connected it to me, that, like, because I don't look, I look kind of different than I did then. But I'm wondering, like, if he connected the dots and he knows it's me. Who knows? Anyway, that's the love, I guess, that could have been. And I swear, it's like, it seemed like every time it was a possibility of, like, things moving forward and us connecting more, something blocked it. Like, whether it was my fear or his fear or, like, my parents, me not living by myself. And I mean, it just never seemed to, like, to fit like hand in glove. Although I know it was there, like, we did like each other and those feelings were there, but it just never, I guess it wasn't meant to be. Some things aren't meant to be. Anyway, on that note, love, peace, blessings, good health, prosperity, and many wonderful... Have a wonderful day. Yeah, have a wonderful day. I'm wondering if he'll see this video. He'll know I'm talking about him if he does. Anyway, love you all. Mwah!